Welcome, my name is Heather Ferri. Brain health in regards to trauma. There are several approaches I work with in regards to pulling out trauma, rewiring the brain, and then developing the areas of the brain that haven't been utilized for years. The first thing we define is what is your trauma and how does it affect you right now? Are you depressed? Do you have PTSD? Do you have cancer? Do you have bad relationships? Those are examples. I don't need to know much about your story. I just need to know enough to know how it's affecting your life right now. Then I go about putting together a formula, a very scientific formula. The first thing I do is I choose a Kundalini brain protocol. All of the brain protocols have clinical studies and research done, and you can see those on the next page. What makes me masterful is my 10 years experience working with trauma clients outside the box. Because I can take a brain protocol and intuitively know whether or not you need to work on it for 3 minutes, 11 minutes, 22 minutes, and believe it or not, sometimes we work up to 31 minutes. Each exercise I approach with different intentions. For example, you're a corporate businesswoman who has severe anxiety issues. I would probably consider using the OCD brain protocol first. It's a 9-step brain protocol that relaxes the brain from mental anguish, that allows you to become more present in your body and your feelings. So let me give you an example of the first exercise. Brain protocols are done in a chair with your feet parallel. The reason why your feet are parallel and not crossed like a typical yogi is because when your legs are crossed, both hemispheres of the brain are working at the same time. That is way too much for somebody with trauma. When your legs are parallel, we can illustrate and utilize very specific areas of the brain, targeting and either pulling the trauma out to rewire or rewiring that part of the brain. So even just that little detail is a big deal. You will start to see that I'm very focused on details. So brain protocols, you have different patterns with fingers to rewire sections of the brain, breath patterns either through the nose or through the mouth, tongue placement, which has 84 meridians that stimulate different parts of the brain, sound, which we could call in yoga mantras, but some are English and some are vocal sounds that stimulate chemistry in the brain to rewire. So there's a lot to it. It's all scientific, and it's actually incredible how fast it works. OCD. The first exercise, your fingers are together at the thumbs and the pinky, and we create almost like a lotus position in front of the heart. The eyes are gazed at the tip of the nose. If you have brain damage, which I assess through a 5-step physical exercise, then we probably will keep the eyes closed for a while because you'll get dizzy and nauseous because the optic nerve is too weak. It's okay. I was there once too. Eventually in time with brain healing, it will be strong and you'll be able to do that. So your hands are in this position, the eyes are gazed at the tip of the nose, the mouth is stretched open, and the tip of the tongue is touching the middle of the upper palate, which is the liver meridian that goes to the brain. So I am a Kundalini yoga practitioner, and through all that education, I understand the meridians like an acupuncturist in the body. So the liver deals with anger. We deal with reprogramming or bringing out the anger from the connective tissues. Sometimes people have hot anger in the brain, and this is important to release because if you don't, it creates diseases, and second, it hinders you from having healthy, happy relationships. The second brain protocol that I want to give you an example of is the childhood trauma brain protocol. I've utilized it so many times with clients, and it's magical because we don't need to know much of your story. The story comes out with your crying, it comes out with the release of the connective tissues, and when it comes out. It's no longer running your computer chip. It's no longer running on automatic. That is a beautiful thing. So for an example, the first exercise for the childhood trauma brain protocol, your arms are in this position. You take a deep inhale. You bow forward and you say, I am. And as you come back up, somebody. And you do that pattern over and over again. Many clients have told me it's different when they're doing it by themselves than in front of me. When they do it in front of me, I'm also sending them so much Reiki energy and love, and then I get ideas. And those ideas always work. So I set different intentions with the exercise that then pulls out part of your story that's running the show. The second thing that I educate in brain health in regards to trauma is whether you are acidic or alkaline. I teach you how to test your urine once a week through pH, potential hydrogen. I explain what pH is ideal and what pH you have at the moment. 99.9% of my clients have a pH of cancer. And that's because there's too much acid running in the body. Well, your brain needs to be slightly alkaline. And unfortunately, your food diet is not the only thing that will help that. Because you're 75% water, I educate you on a specific medical grade water called electrolyzed reduced water. What does the water do? Well, it cleans out a lot of chemicals and toxins in your body. It also raises the pH in your brain, which helps clear your brain so you're mentally able to focus. And this particular medical grade water has healing properties within the first 36 hours. So I'm a big fan of it. I don't prescribe it to clients that aren't interested, but clients who really do want a full healing, it's something that I think they should consider. The third aspect of my work with you would regard referring you to several books along the way that I think are game changers. And reading these books will stimulate different aspects of your approaches to yourself, as well as your relationships in business or in personal relationships. Sometimes I refer one book to a client. Sometimes I refer all of the books to clients. It depends on what we need to do. And the fourth aspect of my work with you will be alignment. A lot of people who have trauma stored in the body tend to have back, hip issues, sometimes neck issues, because the alignment has to change to store the trauma in the body. And so I have a very magical lens and can see how the trauma is moving. It usually moves within the bladder meridian throughout the body. And so we start to work on just basic alignment issues. And that's where my professional dance degree, Pilates certifications, Kundalini Yoga certifications come in, and then just honestly experience. My goal is to have you with a new brain, healthy, that operates and can create a new life just like I have done for myself. What's the first step to do? I would say look at different parts of my website, and if you have questions, email or call me, and we can set up your first introductory session, whether that's in the studio in Pittsburgh or on Skype. I hope this was beneficial to you, and have a great day.